Good day, everyone, and welcome to our session on mastering nonverbal communication. Today, we'll explore how to decode body language, understand survival responses, and recognize emotional signals. These skills are essential for building stronger connections and improving our interactions. I'm excited to take you through this fascinating journey of understanding the unspoken language that shapes our relationships. Let's dive in. Nonverbal communication is all about sending messages without using words. This can include a wide range of behaviors like facial expressions, body language, gestures, posture, and even our tone of voice. When we talk about decoding nonverbal cues, we're referring to the skill of carefully observing these signals to understand the emotions or intentions behind them. This decoding process is really important because it helps deepen our connections with others. It allows us to grasp meanings that go beyond the words being spoken, adding an extra layer of understanding. Essentially, nonverbal communication enriches our interactions by expressing feelings and intentions in ways that words alone often can't capture. Understanding nonverbal communication helps us recognize feelings that people might not say out loud. Often, what someone truly feels is shown through their body language or facial expressions rather than their words. By paying attention to these cues, we can pick up on emotions or messages that remain unspoken, which makes our interactions much clearer and more effective. Developing this skill is incredibly important, whether in our personal lives or at work, because it builds trust, strengthens empathy, and deepens our connections with others. When reading nonverbal cues, the first guideline is to consider the entire cluster of behaviors. It's important not to focus on just one gesture or expression because true meaning comes from looking at all the signals together. Next, observe whether what someone says matches their nonverbal behavior. If their words and expressions align, it shows honesty, but if they don't, it might indicate deception. Context also plays a big role, so always take into account the situation surrounding the communication. Another key step is to establish a baseline of how the person normally behaves. This helps us spot deviations that might reveal something important. Finally, pay close attention to microexpressions. These are quick, involuntary facial expressions that can reveal someone's genuine emotions, even if they're trying to hide them. These steps are foundational for accurately interpreting nonverbal communication. Let's talk about 3 more important guidelines for reading nonverbal cues. First, observing body orientation is key. The way someone positions their body can tell you if they're open and engaged or if they're feeling defensive and closed off. Next, it's essential to recognize cultural differences. Nonverbal signals can vary widely across cultures, so understanding these variations helps avoid misunderstandings. Lastly, always be vigilant for mixed messages. Sometimes what people say with words doesn't match their body language, and that discrepancy can reveal their true feelings or intentions. Paying attention to these cues gives you a deeper understanding beyond just the spoken words. The limbic brain plays a crucial role in how we process emotions. It handles unconscious signals, like facial expressions and the tone of someone's voice, allowing us to respond emotionally right away without even thinking about it. This part of the brain also controls important survival reflexes, things like fight, flight, or freeze, that help us react quickly to danger. Because nonverbal communication directly engages the limbic system, it becomes a powerful way for us to build emotional connections and interact socially on a deeper level. Understanding this helps explain why body language and tone can be even more impactful than words alone. The freeze response is essentially a brief state of paralysis that occurs when someone perceives danger. Physically, it shows up as complete stillness, with the eyes often wide open and muscles held tense. This reaction is controlled by the limbic system in the brain, which helps us pause and carefully evaluate the threat before deciding what to do next. It's a crucial survival mechanism that gives the body a moment to assess the situation and choose the best course of action. When we talk about the flight response, we're referring to the body's natural, instinctive urge to get away from anything that feels threatening. It's an automatic reaction designed to keep us safe. You can often spot this response through nonverbal cues, like quick withdrawal movements, nervous fidgeting, or avoiding eye contact altogether. These behaviors aren't random, they're signals showing that the person is feeling stressed or afraid. At the core of this response is the limbic brain, which plays a crucial role in preparing the body to prioritize safety above all else. It's essentially the part of our brain that says, "Get out of here." Understanding these signs can help us better recognize when someone is feeling threatened and respond appropriately. The fight response is basically our body's way of preparing to confront or defend ourselves when we feel threatened. You'll often notice it through physical signs like aggressive gestures, clenched fists, a stiff posture, or intense eye contact that seems to last longer than usual. This reaction is deeply ingrained in our brain, specifically in the limbic system, which is responsible for our survival instincts. It essentially signals that we're ready to face a challenge head-on. Understanding these cues helps us recognize when someone is in this state and what their body is telling us before they even say a word. When we talk about survival responses, it's important to recognize the freeze, flight, and fight reactions. These are classic examples of how our nonverbal communication is deeply connected to survival instincts controlled by the limbic brain. Being able to accurately read these nonverbal cues gives us valuable insight into a person's emotional state and how they might be reacting to a perceived threat in the moment. This highlights just how crucial nonverbal awareness is, not only for understanding others' emotions, but also for interpreting those instinctive survival behaviors that play a key role in our communication. Pacifiers are essentially self-soothing behaviors that people often use without even realizing it. These include actions like nail biting, lip licking, or twirling hair. They serve an important purpose by helping to reduce feelings of stress or anxiety. Interestingly, these behaviors originate from the limbic system in the brain, which is responsible for regulating emotions. By recognizing when someone is using these pacifiers, we can get valuable clues about their emotional state and understand that they might be trying to calm themselves down. This awareness can be really helpful in responding appropriately to their needs. Recognizing pacifiers is important because it helps us detect when someone is feeling uneasy or under pressure. By being aware of these subtle signals, we can respond more thoughtfully. This awareness also fosters empathy, allowing us to connect on a deeper level and communicate more effectively by addressing the emotions behind the behavior. Ultimately, understanding pacifiers improves our overall interpersonal insight, revealing emotional states that might otherwise remain hidden and helping us support each other better. To sum up, nonverbal communication offers deep insights into our emotions because it's closely linked to the limbic brain, which controls our feelings. By mastering how to read these subtle cues, we can significantly improve how we connect and communicate with others. It's also important to recognize survival responses like freeze, flight, and fight, as understanding these reactions helps us respond more effectively in conversations. Ultimately, developing these skills fosters greater empathy, clearer understanding, and stronger relationships overall.